All right, welcome back, guys, to Solomon's Crown. Today's topic, we're going to talk about rapper Fetty Wap and his whole ordeal with being arrested for pretty much trafficking narcotics. So, I'm reading off of this website right now, Hip Hop Wired, and it says Fetty Wap arrested by FBI for alleged role in opioid drug ring. What we know, and long story short, he had it was from a coast to coast operation, centralized in New York, and they found like kilograms of different type of narcotics and weapons and whatnot. So for those of you who don't know, Fetty Wap has been he's had some limelight around in the late 2000, I want to say 2013. When was it? Let's look it up.
So his album dropped in, I have it right here.
I want to say it was. I want to say it was 2014.
2015 is when he dropped.
Yeah, so 2000. So Trap Queen came out in 2015,
and that was like when he really blew up. So
yeah, that's when he blew up. Trap King was in all the radios,
It was actually a really good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, especially in Japan, because like they love that. Like Fetty Wap was like really big in Japan, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he was big almost everywhere.
Yeah.
But long story short, like this is really shocking and really disappointing because we haven't heard from Fetty Wap in a while, and it's like I think one of the big issues from him like going off of music was because of his daughter. His daughter passed away a couple years back, but I was really looking forward to some of his music. This incident in particular, me and Will kind of want to take a deep dive into this one.
Yeah,
because this is a recurrent theme amongst a lot of
black artists
hip-hop,
in the industry.
Yeah, black artists. Yes,
I mean, even artists. Sometimes in sports, essentially, but mainly hip hop artists, because they grow up in this lifestyle and they can't get out of it. And it's just like, I think it comes down to like greed and instant gratification, but there's no accountability for their actions. So greed is just, I mean, they have everything that they want and then they want more. But the thing about them as an artist, they can't reach the billions of dollars that they want. Think about Jeezy, who allegedly started in the drug game and then worked his way up, went legit, and now he makes billions of dollars. And I think a lot of these rappers see like, okay, well, I got to get to a billion somehow, so I might as well do this on the side because it doesn't pertain to me and things like that. And I can kind of just grow wealth in general. But the thing is like, you always get caught. And we talked about this before, where like technology is the biggest downfall of these drug dealers now, because back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, you had mob bosses, you had narcos, things like that, and there was no technology. Like facial recognition wasn't that great. Half the time these FBI agents were doing like groundwork, like footwork, and they didn't even know who they were chasing half the time. Like, and now you could literally, like, just to come into the United States, you probably have to have a background check, passport. Yeah. Like, there's so many things that they can do to track you and track where you've been, that it's almost like, why would you even want to be a drug dealer at this point?
Exactly. And I mean, and then to kind of piggyback off of that, it's like a lot of the reasons why they have the techniques that they have is not only because of technology, it's because of them capturing these con artists and whatnot, that and drug dealers and whatnot. But I just feel like this whole situation is just a symptom of one of the ills of the Black community, because I lived in a town that's close to Patterson, where Fetty Wap is from, and Patterson is just like any other like Black community, or I guess low-income Black community, urban community. Just good people trying to survive. But it's just one of those things where it's like, this guy, he's repping his community and whatnot. Why is he in the drug game at all? So you look at him, and then you look at an example like Millionaires, right? Millionaires, I don't think had the same success that Fetty Wap had, but Millionaires had his one or two hits, got out, invested his money in tech, and now he's like a millionaire. why couldn't Fetty Wap do the same thing?
But even think about Young Jeezy. Like, if anybody was like convincing people to like buy drugs, sell drugs, and everything, it was Young Jeezy. And I think now, I mean, he teamed when I saw him team with Avion, the tequila, and everything like that. And then he's in real estate and things like that. And it's like people be like, oh, he fell off. But think about the last couple of Young Jeezy albums that he released. It's not the same Jeezy. Like, that's not the 2017 recession Jeezy that was like motivating us to be better and being like, yo, times is rough out here. Like, you're gonna have to grind a little bit. You have to respect that as you get older. Is like, these artists aren't gonna be who they always are. But even like Pop Smoke, like, great potential, all these things that he could have did, and allegedly he was still like gang banging and still in the gang community, and then that caught up to him. And it's just like, when is the success going to be enough for you to be like, yo, I don't want to do all this other reckless stuff that potentially has nothing to do with me, that gets me nowhere but dead half the time, or put in jail? Like, Kodak Black went to prison like for drug charges, and it's just like, well, not drug charges, weapon charges. Like, it's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, and Kodak Black is like not like a struggling artist. Like, he could put out, like, he did Zeke and that pop. Like, but that's the thing, is like, they're not. So it goes back to J. Cole, where he was talking about like Kodak Black in one of his songs. I think it was The Middle Child, where he was talking about,
I remember.
Just got off the phone with Kodak. Kodak really wish he had some guidance for real. He reminds me of the guys back from the Ville. And that's what it is like, these dudes don't have any guidance. They don't have any like end goal for anything. And once they get the money, they're being told like, yo, you can do this, you can do that. And truthfully, it's probably the people that they're surrounding them with, like, hey man, like, just give me 100K, and then like we could just get in this and you won't even have to worry about it. I'll just
exactly.
But like, look at where it's getting them. And the thing is, like, you're almost in too deep as soon as you make that transaction, because there's no way to get out of it.
So do you think it's a company, the company?
Oh yeah, definitely the company that you keep.
Yeah, so like, talking about that, right? So there's a big issue, I think, where it's kind of like, you know, you grew up in the hood, you grew up around certain people, and then once you kind of like say, you know what, I'm tired of this, I'm gonna, I don't know, form a business, I'm gonna go to college in X state away from here, or I'm gonna go to the military. Then you become successful. Then they say you change up. As a black man, do you think that's like one of the issues why a lot of these celebrities and rappers and stuff are like kind of getting caught up and stuff?
So the thing is like, I went home a little while ago, and I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but my boy, he was kind of just like in the street life and everything like that. And I was talking to him, and he was just like, yo, like, you know, things have changed out here. Like, because I was talking to him about like potentially coming back to San Diego. And he's like, bro, like, everything's been the same. He's like, San Diego's always going to be San Diego. Like, ain't nothing changed out here. But he was actually trying to get out of San Diego because he had recently had a daughter. And that was like the life-changing event for him. And I think that truthfully, like, that has to be a life-changing event. But it goes back into like, I think there's like a study where it's like, once you get over the age of like 30 or so, like, to break your habits and to break your like the loop of things that you've been doing for your life. So say like I've been gang banging since I was like 18 to 30. Like, once I hit 30, it's kind of hard to get out of that gang banging mentality because I've known it for so long. And that's a big thing about being in the hood, is like, after you've been there so long, you don't see the other opportunities that are there. And you don't see that most of your goals that you want are going to take 2 to 3 years, sometimes 5 years, depending on where you're starting at, to get to. And people just look at that as like, that's too much, that's too much. But 5 years passes by in no time. Like, think about us putting time into our degrees. Like, when we finish it, we're going to remember where we started, but it's never going to be like you had to start somewhere. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like, without the proper guidance, without the proper people around you, the company that you keep, not trying to push you to do that. Because I mean, we talked about the crabs in the barrel mentality, where it's like, as soon as one black person tries to do better, there's always going to be somebody who tries to drag them back into something and do different ventures. And hey, we could get this real quick, this and that. And I'm not about that. Like, I've never really been about that. And to be honest, like, for a while I slummed it a little bit, not even like saying slumming it, but like I just stopped thinking about like responsibilities and just kind of living my life and everything like that. And it became a problem. Like, and the thing is like, you don't realize that when you stop trying to be responsible and stop trying to achieve your goals, you only create more steps to reach that goal when you finally snap out of all the stuff that you're trying to do. Because I could have had my degree finished, 4 years ago? I could have been an officer right now. I could have been doing all these things, but yet I wanted to have fun. I wanted to like hang out with my friends and not do things that necessarily needed to be done.
So I mean, it goes back to another issue, I think, or another side of this is that one could say that in the Black community, a lot of the times, not everyone obviously, because we're not all the same, but for people in the Black community or even other, low income communities, a lot of the time working a 9 to 5 at McDonald's isn't going to cut it, because maybe they have kids and all this other stuff going on. So maybe this illicit activities may be a way to kind of put them over. Do you think that's what do you think about that situation?
So that's the thing too, is like you think about these people who are drug dealers and doing all this stuff. What's the first thing they do when they get 2,500 something? Like, first thing they do, gotta buy a new car, gotta buy a chain, gotta buy like whatever doesn't pertain to them getting to their bills being paid off. And the thing is, I've seen it before where like dudes will literally have debt to banks, so they can't even get in a bank account, and they just like stacking up all this money, but they can't do anything with it because they don't want to put the 5,000 that they made into the 5,000 debt that they have, so they could begin to start rebuilding their lives. And they just want to be off the grid. And it's just like, once you get in that mentality of like, well, I can have anything I want as long as I go out here and get it, that's the instant gratification, where it's like everybody sees you like, oh, he's doing big things. He got a new car, he's got chains, he got women, he's got drugs, he's got money. Like, he does whatever he wants. He goes in the Gucci store, he buys Gucci bags, this and that. And the thing is like with the men, like the women feed into that because they give these men whatever they want for being drug dealers. And like, it's like men are simple. Like, there's a couple things that we want, and then if you're getting that, then what's the point of doing better? But a true test of men is when you're doing horrible. That will be when you get to the point where you're just like, I got to do something for myself, and then you actually reach those goals. But that's the thing, is like, I mean, I've seen it, bro. Like, I wish there was a simple answer for why people do things like this, but it's not. It's just, it's something that is, people don't want to break that traditional, like, okay, we've always done bad, we've always been in debt, like, you're not going to do anything. And they just kind of get by, bro. Like, and people give up on their hopes and dreams and everything like that at whatever age it is, whatever breaks them to that point. And truthfully, people live day to day not even realizing what they're doing to themselves by by not going to school, by not pursuing a trade, by not trying to get out of the situations that they're trying to get out of. They don't think about it, because it's like, man, I got work today. You go to work, get off of work. Hey, y'all trying to kick it? Y'all trying to drink? Yeah, let's do it. Next day comes. Yo, I got work today. Like, it's a routine. It's a pattern. You have to break the pattern. You have to break the routine. It's just like going to the gym. Even like, think about the Air Force when like PT test came up. Like, if you weren't striving to pass your PT test, you were probably going to fail your PT test. But what did that create? More work on the back end, because you had to go to fit. You had to go, like, you had to do all these extra things. You had to go talk to the commander, all types of stuff. And it's just like, why would you want to put yourself through that when you could have just went to the gym once a week, once, like maybe twice a week, ran, did some push-ups, did some sit-ups, do it before you go to bed, do it when you wake up, and you would have been golden. But I mean, a lot of people don't see things like that until it hits them. And I mean, as you can see, like people are back and forth out of jail, because the people who are usually accepting of them are the people who don't have their best intent in mind. And that's just what it is, bro. Like people who stick with you are also usually struggling. And even though they don't want to see you struggle, they will take a chance with you on something that may be a very bad idea because the level of trust they have for you and have with you, but they can't prepare for the unpredictable. And that's really what it comes down. It's like he probably could have got away with this for like 15, 20 years, made millions of dollars, but something in the system did not line up and somebody cracked, like somebody messed up at some point. And that goes into the thing where you can't depend on other people to make your system work because they don't see the vision. They may be a cog in that machine, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. And
I totally agree. It's another thing that this brings up is just, I guess, the lack of emphasis, especially when we were growing up, in terms of education, like going to school, or rather going to school and actually achieving was looked upon as like being a square, like not cool, right? Like, oh, you trying to act white, or you trying to, oh, like, what you trying to do? Like, oh, you bougie, and stuff like that. And it's like, that mentality is a big reason why a lot of us are just stuck in this like genjutsu kind of. It's just like, bruh, like being educated, having a skill that can take care of yourself, your family, and community, being, you know, a doctor, a lawyer that can, again, take care of yourself, your family, your community, that is not anything close to white. That's being a respectable, like, contributing member of society. That's what we need, you know, especially in our community. I'll tell you this, like, I can't even count on one hand how many Black, like, millionaires outside of entertainment, like athletes and entertainment artists, music artists. I can't tell you, probably except for, what's his name, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Think about
I learned about him when I was an adult.
And the thing is, like, even with us not following all that, like, think about all the doctors and physicists and all the scientists, Black scientists and things like that. Like, we haven't heard of them, and they probably know about a lot more people than us, but that doesn't, I mean, that's not our career field. Our career field is computers, computer science, cybersecurity, things like that. But even in that field, like, there's nobody that I'm just like, oh, this is the leading Black engineer for like this and that. Like, my cousin's a computer engineer, but like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just not one of those things like where a lot of people in the Black community pursue degrees like that. I mean, truthfully, they can be hard. And with this goes back into like the school system that we grew up in. Like, they didn't teach us, like, I had to go out of the city to go learn like calculus and get home ec and all these other things. And like, even with the after school program that we had at Gompers, we had Mesa, but it was like a science type thing. Like, we would do balsa wood bridges, balsa wood planes, and like really understand like just the natural flow of life, essentially. Like, this is what it takes to build a bridge, and this is why structural integrity is good. This is why aerodynamics is good for flying a plane. And you would build your balsa wood planes or bridges, and you would have competitions to be like, oh, what's the thing? Well, like, why is my bridge not as strong as that? And like, they would literally put weights on your balsa wood bridge until it cracked and broke. But there was dudes who built like amazing bridges, but it was a learning experience for all of us. But that was the thing. There was like 7 of us in that class. Granted, the 7 who were in that class are all doing pretty well in life now. And we're talking about getting master's degrees and all this type of stuff. But like, think about how many kids were at our school or even in our class, like at least 300. And 300, like, out of that 300, only 7 of us like actually started doing stuff. And then if you think of it, even the bigger number, out of that 300 people, probably only like 50 or 60 other ones like actually have something decent going on in their lives. and then like it just expands. So think about the percentage of people in the ghetto, in the hood, that are going to school and then they just get out of school, work a regular job, never really do anything. They might join the military for a year or two, something like that, or 4 years, come back, get disability, and then they're just chilling. They might go to college, drop out, come back, and then they're just chilling. Like, they're not doing what they plan to do because whatever reasons, they got their families that are just like, hey, I need help with this, and that. I need you to watch my kids and this, and that. I know plenty of people who should be more successful than me that are just not doing the things that they need to do because they decided to just stay in the hood or just like feed into their friend groups and things like that. And granted, they're living life and having good times and things like that. But like, what is the end goal? Because I look at myself at 41 and potentially there will be a lot of people that I just won't mess with because I'm not going to be that person anymore. So
it's just, I don't know. I mean, a part of it too, I think in general, us as Black men, we don't value ourselves enough because society doesn't really value us. And it really takes a lot of self-reflection, a lot of reading, a lot of soul searching, a lot of being under the wing of someone that has more wisdom than you to understand that like you are valued, like you are valued, like you have a purpose. Like if you work hard, like you, I mean, it sounds cheesy, but your dreams can come true. Like you just gotta work. And I think a lot of people either don't believe in themselves or they're too lazy to put the work in.
Yeah, because even me, like I realized that I can only gain so much knowledge off of YouTube, Google searches, and things like that. So I need to read more. And even the audiobook is better than anything. But there's a lot of books that teach you life lessons that can be reutilized for like business and like whatever aspect, whatever challenges you need to read in your life or achieve in your life. And I have a list of 100 books that they said that you should read in your lifetime. Granted, I haven't started on them, but I know that once I finish those, that I will be a better person, I will be better off, and I will be doing bigger and better things. I mean, I just think that, bruh, these dudes get this money and instant gratification is like the biggest thing for them because I think the
social media like amplifies it too.
Oh yeah, because it's just, and that's the thing too, is like Fetty Wap isn't like somebody who can't just start a stream, start a YouTube channel, start a business. Like Fetty Wap, like cups, like whatever, like they could literally put their name on it and be like, yo, Fetty Wap, like what's something that's popping right now, like candle smells or like, I don't know,
yeah,
socks,
candle
like,
scents, yeah, socks, anything,
bro. Like, and that's the thing too, is like if they applied themselves and put the time into those business ventures, granted they don't know anything about it, but it goes down to learning these skills. Just because you made it in rap doesn't mean you're gonna make it forever. And the thing is like if I had the ability to rap and do the things like even to get to that level, I would be so much more inclined to like go learn how to produce, learn how to be an engineer, learn all these things, build my own studio, and just be in there like hours at a time, just going. But that's the thing, all these distractions, bro. Like, oh, we're doing a party, we're flying out here, we're doing this and that. That's hindrances, bro. Like, I keep to myself for the most part, and I work on my craft. Like, that's a big part of why I'm never out like that. And the thing is like, we think about us, we learned how to video edit in the course of like 3-4 months, and we're only
like
getting
no
started.
Experience, no experience, like literally just like, let me download this thing real quick and
exactly. And the thing is like, as we're doing that, we're learning like, okay, I want to try this, I want to try that. And like, you made that shooting star video, and you walked me through the process of like, okay, like this is what you do, and this and that. And you did that in 10 minutes. Imagine if you would have spent like a day on it. Like, bro, like it would have just like, it would have been ridiculous. And it would have been like, yo, it could have been so much better. And that's the thing, is like, it doesn't even take that much effort to put something out that is, I mean, look at TikTok, bro. Like, dudes are doing amazing things, and even just in the Black community, as far as like the Black TikTok community and things like that, is just like, I mean, and not even just that, like, I mean, that's the thing that goes to say, so like they're saying like, if the minorities are like at the bottom of the totem pole, like the things that they're doing is so much better than like a lot of the people who are at the top tier of TikTok and things like that. And the only gap between that is learning how to do a better craft, like learning how to video edit, paying for a course, like just going to school for these things. And that's the thing. I mean, the thing is like, I think that Black people in general, we just kind of like learn things by sleight of hand, like just like, yo, hey, you know how to do that? Hey, teach me real quick. And then you kind of just trial and error. It's just
one
like
of those things. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like, imagine if it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just go to school for this. Like, I went to school for programming, and it's just like, at first it was like, yo, this is like giving me a headache, this and that. And then once you like figure out like the basics of it, like one line can mess up your whole program and things like that, what to look for, and like you can just scan through a page of coding and be like, oh, there's an extra space right here. That took time to build up to, bro. It's not just something that you learn overnight. And like even everything that I've done, like I've been working on all my projects for 10 years. Granted, I'm going into different projects every once in a while, but like I could go back on all the projects I wanted to do from 10 years ago and probably crush them right now because of everything that I learned. And that's truthfully probably what I'll end up doing, because bro, I literally like can't wait to go back to the States, because there's so much opportunity in the States as far as like culinary arts school, video production, like classes, courses, like, and they're giving away these courses for free. Like,
because it's so
exactly. I was talking to my mom. She was like, they were trying to pull people into coding classes at one point for free. And I'm like, yo, they're trying to teach people how to code for free, and people are like, nah,
jump
I'm
in
good.
there.
I'm good. I don't want to learn that. Like,
you know how much it costs to get in a boot camp?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like 3 months of your life of just like ghosting your friends and not partying and not doing the same little things, losing a little bit of sleep, and you could be a millionaire, to be honest. Like, truthfully. So
it's just disappointing, man. I think if he does get convicted, he's pretty much done.
He'll do at least 5 to 10 years. I mean, I think 10 years is like the maximum sentence for drug charges. But no, I mean, the thing goes back into it. He's got money, so he'll be able to pay for a lawyer who will potentially get a sentence down to like 5 years with probation, maybe even 3 with good behavior and things like that. It's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, and that's if he gets convicted. But I don't know, man. Like, it is kind of just like, what are you doing? Because it's like, you think about people who would literally do amazing things with the money that they have, that these artists have, and these dudes just squander it, because it's like, now what, bro? What's going on with your legacy? What are you leaving behind besides trap queen, bro?
And it's like the thing is that hurts so much is that so much of us who don't have the money, we have so much of this creative energy that we want to utilize, but we don't have the money or time, or we don't have the time because we're trying to get the money to stay afloat. And it's like, you have all this money to, learn it yourself or to pay someone to do it for you, and you just like, oh, I'm gonna do crime. Like, okay. Like, it's just,
but that goes back into like, the people you keep around and just not being able to have mentors, because I think that was the biggest thing that I learned over the course of like the COVID period, was finding mentors, find people who are doing better than you and learn from them. Because how can somebody who is at the same level of you as you, who doesn't push you to be better, who doesn't call you out on the things that you're doing, get you to a better position? You want somebody who's above you, and you're just like always seeing the things that they're doing. You're like, yo, you know what? Today I'm gonna buckle down. I want to get that. I want to be like that. And then once you get to that level, you just keep on raising up.
Keep going up. So, and overall, guys, this is just an example we're trying to highlight that we need to change as a community. We kind of, downgrade this whole mentality of fast money, quick money, and try and uplift the idea of discipline, being focused, trying to learn skills, trying to get careers, so we can help our families and help our communities in the legit way, in the positive way. You know what I mean? But I think that's it for this conversation, guys. If you made it this far in the video, and you like what you see here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It goes a long way in helping this channel grow. And that's all we have for today. I'm your boy Pop.
I'm your boy Willie Main, and you can expect a lot of other things from us, not to include just this talk. So stick with us, rock with us, and you'll see all the things that we are going to create and build in the next year or so. So
yeah, for sure. Peace out, guys.
Later.